Welcome to Theater of the Oppressed, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out here. Our actors are really excited to get up on stage, but what they're most excited for is for you all to get up on stage, because you are the fantastic spect actors. Theater of the Oppressed came out of Brazil in the 1960s as a way of community organizing. And ever since, it's been used as a tool for transformative change, for social change, for personal change. It's been used in drama therapy as well as in popular education. So it's a really cool tool that can be used in so many different ways. We used it as a way to explore the struggles that these young people are going through. And as you can imagine, a lot of that involves peer dynamics and dynamics with their parents, many of you. So thank you for being here. And their teachers, also, some of us. As well as strangers who are adults who have that kind of power, right? And you're gonna see 3 different skits today. And after each one, we're going to invite the actors to do their skit once more for a second time. And that second time is when it gets really interesting, because that's when you guys get the opportunity to intervene in the plot. Whenever you see a character who you think could have made a different choice that would have prevented the last ultimate kind of tragic scene, you can yell, "Stop!" real loud. Use your projector voice so that our actors know that you want to intervene on stage. You're gonna yell, "Stop!" real loud. They're gonna freeze on stage. We're gonna clap for you because you got the courage to intervene on something. So we're all gonna clap for you. You're gonna come on stage, and I'm gonna ask you, which of the characters do you want to intervene for? And you're actually gonna replace them on stage. So you're not gonna just tell us, "Oh, I think the grandpa could have done a better job right then." No. This is the time to really use our bodies and our imaginations and our creativities to become actors. Raise your hand if you have ever had any acting experience before at all, even a tiny bit. Raise your hand. Awesome. Raise your hand if you've never had any acting experience ever before in your life, and maybe this is gonna be your first time. That's really exciting. So for those of you who are new to this, I really invite you to step on stage. This is an opportunity for you to rehearse what you would like to be doing in your actual lives. So this is a safe container where you can work through, I wish I could have said that to my boss that one time. What would have happened? And the actors on stage are trained to improvise according to the choices that you make. I'm going to introduce the first group. So if I could please have the finger pointers on stage. They've all run away. They saw your faces and got real scared. Finger pointers, can I have you on stage, please? Finger pointers on stage. Awesome. So a round of applause for the finger pointers. So all of these stories come from a mixed material of their real lived experiences. So when we handle and when we watch and when we're audience members, we really want to hold what they're sharing with us super sacred. These are kind of the creative interpretations of their own stories. And right now they're just going to tell you what their names are and what their role is in the skit, so you have a real good idea of what's going on.
My name is Jackson, and I play the angry grandpa.
My name is Maria, and I play Caroline.
I'm Griffin, and I play Luis.
I'm Noah, and I play as Thomas.
Beautiful. And Luis and Thomas are dating, and Luis and Caroline are siblings, just to make that really clear. And we're gonna give them a chance to get to their places real quick. And put your hands together for the finger pointers.
cheapest one.
You can't put a price on Thanksgiving.
Yes, I can, and it's extremely low.
Like, how much?
$20.
That's not enough for turkey, but let's just
Remember,
get it.
I am paying for both of your colleges.
Okay.
So what's next on the list?
The stuffing.
Oh yeah, the stuffing. Do you care which one we get?
You can get the cheapest one and get about 6 of them.
Okay. And what's last?
Oh yeah, the gravy.
Oh yeah, the gravy. Well, Luz, could you please tell your boyfriend to go get the gravy?
Oh yeah,
Boyfriend?
Thomas.
You have a boyfriend?
What? I thought you knew.
Of course I didn't know. You get out of here.
But, Thomas, I think you should go. But, Grandpa, I told you.
No, you didn't. I thought you two were just friends.
What?
Can I help you?
I heard a commotion out here.
That was just my family fighting again.
Mm-hmm. You're pretty suspicious.
How am I suspicious?
Well, you're sort of wearing a backpack.
Oh wow, I'm wearing a backpack.
You could have been stealing.
I'm not stealing, I swear.
Mhm. Okay, I'm gonna have to see what's in that backpack.
I'm not stealing.
Suspicious. Come over here.
Where are we going?
You see what's in there. What's this?
Stuff you put in your water?
Uh-huh. We saw that same thing here.
Yeah, they sell that at like every other store in the city. You can't do this, okay? I'm a minor and you're not a person of authority. It's illegal.
Okay, that just makes you even more suspicious. I'm gonna have to call the police.
What? No!
So actors, if you could go back to your places real quick, we're about to do it all again. Before we do this again and we allow for your interventions, for your stops, right? We're gonna go ahead and warm up. Because actors gotta warm up. Okay, so I'm gonna invite you to go ahead and stand up. Woo! Microphone down. Go ahead and stand up. We're going to go ahead and lift your arms up in the air. Just twist your wrists. Right? Reach up for the sky as far as you can on your tippy toes. You're grabbing for those apples, those amazing apples. Oh, and they all dropped on the ground. Go ahead, forward fold, and pick them all up. Great, stand back up. We're gonna do a shake-off exercise now. It's pretty fun. It's real dynamic, so make sure you have space in your cues. Again, this is invite only. No pressure at all. This is just to get into your body so that you feel confident about stepping up on stage and projecting. Cool. So we're going to start with 8. We're just going to count down. We're going to shake each limb. So we're going 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're going to do it again, counting down from 7, and just keep going lower and lower. But this time I'd really like you to join me in counting the words because it's also a vocal warm-up. So go ahead and breathe. Take a deep breath with me. Deep breath out. questions? Is it unclear what we're about to do? We're about to see the whole thing that we just saw again, and this time you can intervene in what's going on by replacing one of the actors on stage. The way you cue that is by yelling, "Stop!" real loud. Any questions? Yeah, Mason.
If we ask stop, if we say stop, are we in it for the rest of the skit?
Yes, good question. No, you're just gonna play out your intervention. So let's say, like, oh, I really wish this character had said this instead of that. You're gonna go ahead and say that, see how that plays out. Keep going until I say freeze. So try to keep going as long as you can, even if you think you're kind of done. It'll help us. It'll help us see what happens, right? And what you did may only affect the play, like the second scene or the third scene in. So we may have you in there for a while, who knows, if you're lucky. Go ahead, this is something we do at Rainbow. Go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you're kind of nervous about coming up on stage to make an intervention. Okay, cool, thumbs up, yeah! Cool, so I encourage you guys especially to come up on stage. Okay, actors, are you ready? And let's watch with interventions.
So what's on the shopping list?
Oh, maybe the turkey?
Oh yeah, it does. Thanksgiving. Oh, Grandpa, wait up.
What year am I in?
You're not that old, Grandpa.
Yes, I am. Respect your elders.
Whatever, let's just get a turkey. Thomas, do you care which one we get?
Probably the bigger one.
Yeah.
Get the cheapest one.
You can't put a price on Thanksgiving.
Yes, I can, and it's extremely low.
Like how much?
$20.
That's not enough for a turkey, but whatever, let's just get this one.
Remember, I am paying for both of your colleges.
Okay, so what's next on the list?
The stuffing, yeah.
Oh yeah, the stuffing. Do you care which one we get?
Get the cheapest one and get about 6 of them.
Let's just get this. And then what's last?
The gravy, yeah.
Oh yeah, the gravy. Well, those people just say your boyfriend to go get the gravy.
Boyfriend? You have a boyfriend?
I thought you knew. I
You
told
get
you.
out of here.
I think you should go, Thomas. But I thought you knew.
Well, of course I didn't know. I thought you two were just friends.
I told you.
No, you didn't. You're a disgrace to this family.
Good.
Like when they start shock.
Oh, you want to go way back to the show?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Tomas, can you get back up here? And let's start it right from over here. Maybe you're already turning and you're maybe about to ask for the gravy.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, that's up here.
Or do you want it from right here? Ooh, the turkey part. Grandma. Oh, you're being replaced. I forgot. Awesome. So let's see what happens.
How about like which one?
Okay, so which one do you want to get?
Probably the bigger one.
Okay.
So, what I'd like to think about a little bit here is we are in a little bit of a budget. So, we have a certain amount of money to spend, and we've got one on our list.
Well, we have turkey, stuffing, gravy.
So we have about maybe $60.
Okay.
We're kind of tight on money.
Didn't know that.
So,
Yeah, so let's think about how we can maybe stretch our money a little bit.
Okay,
What do you
so
think?
we should get
Yeah.
the cheaper one?
I don't know, what do you guys think? How would you take the amount of money that we have and the things that we have on our list and kind of make it you know, I'm gonna send you to the grocery store next time I'll let
Okay. So then let's get the cheaper stuff. So
Yeah, whatever you guys.
this one looks good.
Yeah, sure. How much do we have so far, you think?
It's like $40, so
Okay.
it's like $20. Okay, let's just get these and let's get a lot of them because we got them too.
Oh, yeah. So, you know, if we have a little extra money. then
Yeah, I think
for dessert.
I think Bethel. I think I'm gonna get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get the
Yeah.
green.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get this. And then just you can say your boyfriend to go get crazy.
Yeah, Thomas, could you go get the gravy?
You know, this is something new I haven't heard.
Uh,
I thought there's one more.
well, I thought I told you, right? Like, a couple Saturdays ago.
Yeah. You know that one Saturday?
Really?
Yeah, that one.
Stop.
This was not.
Awesome. Thank you. One second, Mason. We don't usually take interventions in interventions. We'll just talk about this first, and then we'll take your intervention. Yeah. Tracy has a little bit more to say.
That's really cool. I had no idea, but it sounds like you guys are knowing each other for a while. Yeah.
Okay. So
Good.
yeah, could you just go get crazy? Okay.
Oh, thank you for.
Okay. And
Well, you
then.
know what? I like you no matter what.
Thank you.
And let's go to the cashier.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much, Tracy.
Jackson, yes, you come join us. I just want to ask Jackson, since he's been studying this character, right, of this grandpa. Jackson, do you think that this intervention is something that the grandpa could have done? Was it in character for the grandpa to do what Tracy did?
No.
Okay. Raise your hand, however, if you thought it was an effective intervention, if it changed the plot, right? Yeah, very, very effective. And what were some of the tools that Tracy was using? What were some of the things that you noticed? Yeah, Bryce. Money? What did she say about money?
Like how much she has and how much she has to do it.
She was really clear. She was really clear and gave an exact amount and communicated that to them directly. What other strategies did she use? Yeah, Cheryl.
She also involved them in the decision making instead of just saying, this is how it's going to be.
Beautiful.
You know, how you want to do this.
Yeah, she asked the question right back at them, right? Which actually kind of, if you saw the actors, kind of threw them off.
Yeah.
Whoa, you're asking us? What's one other strategy that we saw Tracy use? Yeah, over there. Yeah, you.
Being more caring for.
Yeah, being more caring for the kids. Tracy, just for the benefit of us all, can you repeat that last line that you told? Oh yeah.
I love you no matter what. I'll always love you.
Okay, beautiful. 1 second. So, Griffin, you've been playing this character. Something that we do in Theater Be Oppressed is that we make statues that represent emotions. That's how we built all of these plays. So I'm going to ask the character of Tomas to go ahead. Thomas? Sorry, I always say one of them is Luis and one is Thomas. And it's really confusing. Thomas? Luis, okay. Luis, Maria, can you get out of the way for 1 second? Thank you. So, Tracy's just going to say these lines one more time. Griffin, Luis, give us your first statue, the one that you end with over here in the original play.
Oh, okay.
Just give us that last statue that you end with originally. Right? This is Luis at the end of our original play. Grandpa has just told him that he's uninvited from Thanksgiving dinners. Right? And Tracy, I want you to say that phrase to him one more time. And Griffin, let that phrase, let yourself embody that and change it from here. Go ahead and freeze here. And when she says that, go ahead and let that change you somehow.
I love you no matter what. I always love
Cool, we're going to take one more intervention for this skit. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for because we have 2
2 more skits left. So Mason, did you want to jump on in?
I don't know if it's appropriate anymore.
Okay.
Maybe.
Okay, great. We're gonna take it from the, we're actually, Griffin and Jackson, can you go ahead and freeze? And we're gonna take it from the clerk and the store clerk entering. So this is an interesting skit because there's 2 kind of storylines combined with 2 forms of domination and systems of oppression coming in. We have homophobia coming in over here, and we have a different kind of systemic oppression taking place in this arena of the stage, right? So we're going to go and explore that a little bit more. Okay, so they're going to start from the beginning, and if you get a quick stop, that would be real helpful. And let's watch.
I heard a ruckus over here.
That was just my family fighting again.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You look pretty suspicious.
Why do I look suspicious?
Because you've got a backpack.
Oh wow, I have a backpack. That doesn't mean I'm stealing.
See, you could have been recognized and putting them into the backpack.
So what a backpack's for, but it's not for stealing.
Okay, yeah, it's getting pretty suspicious. Okay, you're gonna have to come over here.
Where are we going?
Let me see what's in the backpack.
Fine. Stop.
A round of applause for Ethan, are you want to come on stage? Cool. Who would you like to replace in the scene? The store clerk. For it. So Noah, if you... Yeah, give me. And let's watch.
There's nothing there.
Sounds like there's something in there.
There's nothing in there. Why are you taking all my stuff?
Just checking, see if there's anything there. What's this made of?
That's just glue and borax. My friend made that for me. It's one of the
Borax? Sounds dangerous. Is it dangerous?
No, you can buy it at Ingles.
You are rivals with England's.
Trader Joe's.
This,
Just stuff
Look
you
at
put in
stuff.
your water.
seen it before, on the shelf over there.
Yeah. They also have that at Ingles. No, I got that from Ingles.
I'm afraid. No.
Store clerk runs away. Awesome. So Ethan, can you come up on stage over here? Just go closer. Ethan and Maria, just a little closer. Cool. So Ethan, I'm curious, how would you describe the store clerk?
Store clerk, sort of like, just, maybe just hired from, as the job, and sort of like, the manager didn't know what he might have been doing, sort of thing.
So do you think he's not well equipped for the job?
Nope.
No. Have you met people like the store clerk before?
I've seen people like the store clerk before, it hasn't ended well, but it was bad.
Thank you. We enjoyed just seeing the way that you experienced that store clerk, right? And you portrayed it. A round of applause for Ethan for getting on stage. So we're going to do this one more time from this scene. Yeah, I just want to go ahead and give them an intervention. So Noah and
that you know is not right, but you're not exactly sure how to stand up for yourself, or who to get involved, or how to advocate for yourself. So especially if you have an intervention for Maria, really love for you to go ahead and yell stop. Okay? Let's watch.
I heard a commotion over here.
That was just my family fighting again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, little Missy, you look pretty suspicious.
Why do I look suspicious?
Let's just say you could have been stealing.
How would I be stealing?
So,
Thank you. Yeah.
right.
I just went.
And let's watch.
Do you have a lot of problems with Steven?
Yes, I do.
Really? It's been happening a lot?
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty scary. I'm sorry to hear that. I tell you what, you can take a look inside the backpack. Let me show you exactly what's in here. Hold on. Let me take this out and show you. Do you have a store manager too?
I do.
Yeah. Do you want to bring him over?
I am the store manager.
Oh, wow. All right. Pretty young.
Yes.
Wow, that's impressive. That's great.
For about 6 months.
Good. I'm impressed. So, and there's some stir, all natural. Maybe you need to buy some more of that. Looks like it's all. You guys curious?
Yes, we do.
All right. Might be getting some. I got two. Which one's got one? Oh, and I got some jelly stuff from my. You ever played with this stuff? Here, check it out. This is really cool. All sorts of neat stuff. Yeah, you know what? You can make little toy animals. Yeah, it's cute. You can punch it if you like. You're really upset about something. It's a great stress. Toothbrush, one brush. Oh, yeah. And you know what? Oh, I got a couple buttons. And I think that's about, oh, there's a couple ones. That's about it. Oh, and a pen. You need to write something down?
Well, it looks like you weren't stealing. You look like an honest person.
Well, you can work it out. I'm super impressed that you, man, school manager, all right? You're going places, son.
Freeze. Thank you so much. So Maria, do you think that that intervention was in character for you?
I mean, for like my character?
Yeah, for your character.
Kinda, and not really. It's not like that much different, but like, yeah, it's kind of different. Yeah.
Right, it was different than what you did, but was it possible for your character to have done that, you think?
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Cool. So who can identify some of the strategies that this intervention used? Like what worked about it? Yeah, Jen.
Yeah, he chose to play the character in a very disarming way. Just kind of cut attention right away.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen.
And he kind of reversed the roles where he was taking the initiative of doing things and the store manager was more like a spectator. And he was leading all the action and making kind of to be sympathetic, look sympathetic for the store manager and kind of make covering in front of the nice and caring. That is caring for the store manager.
Yeah, it was really successful. It was compassionate. He took up space. He was engaging, charismatic, right? He made the audience laugh as well as the store clerk. There was a real storytelling quality that totally disarmed and made them be able to be friends. When we imagine Maria or someone's Maria's age doing the same thing, how do we think that might play off? Would it be the same or different? Yeah.
I just don't think that a child might feel really
Maria, do you think that was something that your character could have done? Could pick
Yeah.
up the phone and say, oh, you know what, I need to call my dad about this. I need to call
Yeah.
my mom. Yeah, cool. Thank you. We're going to say thank you to our intervener as well as the fingerprinter. And we're going to go ahead and get ready for our second group, which is the Hunchback Whales. Hunchback Whales, if you can go ahead and set the stage quickly. And while they are doing so, I just kind of want to show you a few of the pictures that we took along the process of making these plays. So I kind of talked about image theater a little bit, and that's a branch of Theater of the Oppressed. And image theater is real simple, and all it does is ask us to embody our emotions or our reactions and the way that someone has impacted us. So if we could go ahead and see that first picture, Mr. Justin A.V. Dude. Thank you very much. Awesome. So this is the one that we just saw, right? So I asked the students to come up with 3 statues embodying the course of their story before they got into building the script, setting the characters, or the costumes. Just from the very beginning, can you give me 3 statues, beginning, middle, and end, that really capture the scene? Maria, did you want to say something?
Yeah, and this is when we had an entire different story at this point, and I was like actually one of the people that was like pointing fingers. But, like, yeah, it was a completely different story.
Right. So images are all about interpretation. It doesn't really matter what's actually happening in the scene. It really matters what we see when we look at it. And every image has a story about power written and woven into it. Can anyone tell me here in this scene, in this image, who has power? There are no wrong answers. Yeah, Stacy. Stacy thinks the loving couple has the power. Can you explain how you came to come to that? Thank you for that. Yeah, they're the only one of the 4 people. They're the ones who are in a group. They're on a team that can give you strength. They're also the only ones making any kind of contact, right? So they are not isolated. Beautiful. Next picture, please. This is our wonderful Aiden. And at this point, I was calling out words that they had, or struggles that they had written down that they feel like they face when we were brainstorming about what kind of struggles to pick for these plays. Things like sibling rivalry, right? Or family feuds across generations, right? Grandparents fighting with uncles, fighting with cousins, fighting with parents. And even though they're not part of those fights, they witness them and it affects them, and that's what they chose to write about. A lot of what our students chose to tell stories about are things that they didn't necessarily directly experience firsthand, but things that they witnessed and didn't know what to do about. They didn't know where to go, who to tell, whether or not to tell. Right? These are big things that our students have been facing. So we're going to stop there. It looks like our Hunchback Whales are ready to perform. We're just going to go straight into this. We're going to see it once, then we're going to see it again with interventions. And let's watch.
Lila Evanson, report the principal office immediately.
Hey, what's she doing here?
I have been hearing rumors about you, that you have been hurting Aurora. Is
What?
this true?
No,
in China, that's why.
I don't like your attitude. Your father, young lady, would be very disappointed in you.
It's not my fault you left.
Yeah, honey, it is.
Have that day, can you just leave it?
You think I care? You better find your own dinner tonight, 'cause I'm not making it.
Hey, what's up? I should put principal and think that Lila, that pamphlet's hurting me. That's what you do with your spare time? Just what a person, I'm sure. My mom's being such a bitch. They all are. You want a cigarette? I don't know.
Give me a break. You can't even stand up to your own mom, let alone take a cigarette. This is why you're such a wimp.
Take one, I guess.
That's what I thought. You put it in your mouth, idiot. I better go.
Can I one for the road?
Sure, but you gotta give me back.
So, how has Lila been hurting you? She's been pushing and threatening me in the bathroom.
What? I haven't done any of that.
Yes, you have.
No, I
trust
trust.
me, your favorite or her. First of all, I have no favorites. Second of all, I break this call. What? Robin's has been caught doing drugs again? No fighting in here, and when I come back, you better have the problem solved. Sure thing.
Laura, I just don't understand why you're doing this. You're the one who called off our friendship.
Oh, doing what? You're the one who's
Lying.
hurting me. No, I'm not.
You're lying.
No, I'm not.
I haven't done anything.
Yes, you have.
What is wrong with you?
You don't know what I go through every day. You don't know how hard my life is.
So actors, let's get back to places. And take a bow. Beautiful, beautiful. So we're gonna go back to places and do it all again from the beginning, real quick. So this time we're gonna put a little edge to it, and we're not going to replace people in the scenes who we think are in positions of power. Okay, so that might change based on what your thought process is about what power looks like and what power is. But I'm asking you, when you make an intervention, to make an intervention for someone who you feel like is not in a position of power, who does not have a lot of agency in the play, right, to begin with. And this is a really interesting play because what we're trying to untangle is this last image here, right? With Tessa hunched over and with her best friend from years back leaving her, pushing her down and leaving her. How can we intervene in that? How can we change that? What choices could each of the characters have made with their interactions with their friends, with their interactions with their parents, with the interactions with the principal, to stop that from happening? Raise your hand if you think you have like a little bit of an idea, even if you're not gonna like make an intervention, but you go, that person could have said this. Okay, I see a little sprouts. Cool, go ahead and water those sprouts over the course of the next 30 seconds so they become beautiful blossoms and we see you and hear you yell, "Stop!" And let's watch for the second time. we talked about in the last skit as something that we're able to do, right? So it's really for the young people out there, when something is happening, you can enlist your parent as an advocate for you. If you have that kind of relationship with them, you feel safe, you feel secure, you can always say, no, I need to call my parent, or in this case, hey, will you come with me to the principal's office? Will you come with me to have this real difficult conversation? Tessa, for you, do you think that's something that would have been feasible for your character to have done?
Probably not, because I feel like Isabella and I came up with a whole backstory for the way that you have characters and how our friendship ended. And so I feel like she's angry to just see Aurora, and she doesn't want to be near her, she doesn't want to talk to her, she doesn't want to be around her at all. And so to bring her mom into this, then she knows it'll be like a bigger deal. And right now I feel like, when she comes home, she's angry about it, but then, she's been feeling resolved tomorrow. That maybe that's a big deal. But, so I don't think she would know.
Okay, so maybe this intervention would have worked, and maybe it would have taken some more time, the second time, the third time this happens. Maybe after Tessa, right, your character's on before, maybe then that's when she would have gone. Well, thank you so much, Stacey. Yeah. Let's start from bad mom coming in. Be brave, everyone. Be courageous. That was our centering word today before all the actors got on stage and asked, what are you going to do today? What are you going to bring to the stage today? And one of the students said, courage. Right? So they're doing a really courageous thing. Please take your courage into your own hands and get up on stage. Let's watch.
Mom? Mom?
What are you doing here? You had your damn vagina, that's why. I don't like your attitude. And your father, young lady, would be very disappointed. It's not my fault you left. Yeah, honey, it's that day. You just leave it? You think I care? You better find your own things. I'm not making it.
Hey, Robin. Hey, what's up? I tricked the principal to get Lila, that pimp. She was hurting me. That's what you do with your spare time? In person, I'm sure. My mom's being such a bitch. They all are. You want a cigarette? I don't know. Oh, come on. You can't even stand up to your own mom, let alone take a cigarette. This is why you're such a wimp. I guess I'll take one. That's what I thought. You put it in your mouth, please. I better get home.
Yeah, I don't know, like, my grandpa came up and he doesn't have any teeth. Actually, he's not even alive. He's only 40. They say he's smoking, so yeah, I mean, you can go ahead. I'll watch you. I'll enjoy watching. Actually, I'm really excited to watch you smoke. Tell me how it is.
You know what? I better call it.
Yeah? See you later. I love you.
So before we ask whether or not this was, yes, welcome up on stage, whether or not you think this was a successful intervention, I kind of just want to ask Mason, how did that feel being up on stage and changing the plot in that way?
I felt like there were so many different paths that could go. Just me saying like I felt bad about what I had done. Like I don't think that was like in the expected dialogue, right? So maybe you were.
It was really hard to try to work with it.
Yeah. So that was nice, and then getting to go into the cigarette scene was like the more obvious. Right? But honestly, yeah, I think when we're meeting with people, it's like it doesn't feel good, but somewhere it's like, yeah, we're all good.
And you picked up on Isabel's character feeling confused about it?
Yeah, well, you know, seeing that home life was tough, and she came to school and she kind of put it on someone else, and Israel's company, that sort of thing. And realizing, you know, she perhaps had a revelation of like, oh man, that didn't feel good, and was reaching out to her friend.
Yeah.
I thought it was really interesting and inspiring how not only did he not accept her sort of shaming around his behavior, but he also didn't return judgment on her by trying to make her feel bad about the fact that she was smoking. He was just kind of neutral and accepting in that non-judgmental place of like, I'll just watch you, but I'm not going to let you make me feel bad for not doing me. But I'm also not going to be outwardly judgmental for you.
It was difficult because I mean it's been like how many weeks just rehearsing this over and over, and we've definitely experimented with different things, but never has the character Aurora gone more into what she was just kind of like, oh, I did this, and then when I was kind of like obviously not impressed, because I think the dynamic between us is she's kind of trying, she lost her best friend, and now she's trying to make a new friend. She doesn't really know this crowd that she's going to hang out with. We also experienced me, like we wanted this character to have something going on in her own too that they can relate to, but that didn't end up fitting into the story. So I think that, you know, she had never gone more into it, so that was definitely interesting. I think that could have definitely had more outcome, because I think once you admit you're reflecting upon something, you're going to start reflecting more.
Isabel, can I ask you, your character Aurora, after hearing it in this version, right, this Robin said, I'm not your friend, right? She straight up said, I'm not your friend, which was a huge opportunity. At that point, if your character had been part of that, what do you think Aurora would have done?
I was like, oh, well, I never want to be your friend anyways, you know, like, oh, that's cool, you know, so kind of like.
Would you have walked away in that moment? Would you have stayed?
I think I would have then given it to the cigarette because I felt embarrassed already. Yeah.
Wow, that's tough. I was hoping that maybe that would have gotten you to leave that situation because you know that you're not with a friend, but you don't think that Aurora would have done that. No? Okay, a round of applause for our And we're going to try the last scene with the principal, and this Come up, Aurora. Yes, thank you. And the last group, you can go ahead and start getting ready. Okay, so Lena, tell us what were you thinking when you showed us this intervention?
Well, before I actually did the meeting, I think it actually would have been better if they just sat down, we already heard each other. But I think that kind of helps because once you kind of see like what they're doing at that time, you can figure out just mold yourself to the situation. So when she was sitting there, even before she could even say anything about the adult in there, could have ended badly because he wasn't caught for doing anything. I just immediately said, "Are you okay?" Because just off the bat, you kind of end anything that we're going to.
Yeah, that was your first intervention was a question, right? So questions are great ways to destabilize what's happening or to destabilize a power dynamic. A question, are you okay? A personal question, a compassionate question, a question that maybe she would have been better suited to do had she had a mother like the mother that Stacy presented. Right? So this is when two interventions can kind of come together. Maybe it's not just one thing that needs to happen, but a scaffolding of things. And Belle, can you just tell us what it felt, what got you to act differently?
I didn't really want to lash out for a lot because she was super sad. I feel bad about my feelings, so I don't want to let her reaction happen.
A big round of applause for the Hunchback Whale! Well, thank you everyone. We are near the end of our evening. We have our third skit, our third and last skit. Thank you so much for coming and being a part of this evening experience with me. And we are going to have like 2 interventions real quick after this one, just because we're running out of time. While I guess they're almost all set up. Yeah, exactly. Thank you. Read my mind. You got it. So this next picture, the next one after this. Thank you. Right? We're just showing different ways of showing emotion. Yell. Raise your hand if you have any idea what's the first emotion that kicks in, like that you think that this represents for you. Yeah, Bryce. What's happening? I thought you told them. Oh, beautiful. Right, because Noah played that character. So it was that same, like, hey, I thought you told them what was going on. Beautiful. Any other emotion? Bryce gave us a monologue, which is something that we work with. We work with activating the statues from just being statues into having a monologue. What do you see, Savannah?
I feel a little bit of confusion and almost a little bit of distress and to be honest, like a tiny bit of anger almost in there. Or not like directed at someone, but just angry, like why am I confused and why am I feeling distressed at this moment? I should not be feeling that.
Great. Next picture. This was a group of people portraying that same emotion. Next picture. Next. This is a group that we're about to see. Okay? And we can really see the use of the way that they're using their bodies in terms of the levels, right? Who is on top and who is lying down. That tells us the whole story of what's happening here. Next picture. If I could get the third actors on stage to introduce themselves, please. Thank you.
let's watch. Awesome. Before we jump right in and do some interventions, I'm wondering if anyone is willing to kind of play out what they think is going on. What are the major factors in making Timmy like jump out of the window? What's going on with Timmy? Yeah, Tracy.
You're not really part of the conversation in the very beginning. You're kind of leaving out. Not part of any of it.
Right, so he's not part of the conversation while the principal's talking to the parents. What else do you think contributes to Timmy jumping out that window? Pamela?
I don't think he even feels part of the family when his parents don't seem to need to speak to him or want to ask him about his problems with his sister and his bullying and really not seeing any understanding
So not only is he not a part of his schooling or the decisions that are made about his current school, he doesn't even feel part of the family itself, right? Especially with these. Yeah, go for it.
Well, I think that's true. That's part of the conversation. Even when the parents met with the teacher, they didn't seek any information. They just accepted what was said as opposed to when did this start, how long has it been going on, and then they didn't give him an opportunity to, he denied it, of course, we really didn't even know what it was. He kept saying, what. And so he knew that the idea of the pattern was he wasn't listened to. And then he got home, his sister, of course, was far too busy. And I think, even though, presented as children do, they just look sort of like it doesn't sink in, but it does. It must be a real feeling of hopelessness. There was nowhere to go with this terrible feeling. He just had to confirm that he was going to be changed to another school, and there was no conversation about how he felt about that or what led to that. So I mean, I just think there's no place to be. And we feel like he just go within that as they should.
Right, literally, he didn't know where to go, have a place, so he left it. Yeah. So this time, unlike the past 2 times, we actually have a real clear goal. How can we make Timmy feel part of the conversation, feel part of the family? What can he do? What could the parents do? And what could the sister do and the principal to make Timmy feel included, part of what's going on? And I just will let you know that what Timmy is always asking, why, right? As he's in the car here, what's going on? It's all those, what? Their struggle was actually the why struggle. That struggle of, why is this happening? Why are you doing this to me? Why am I in this position again? So it's something that all 4 of them really resonated with, this question of, they always come up against these why questions. They don't understand what's happening, and the adults in their lives aren't giving them clear answers. Yes, Cheryl?
One thing with the adults in this story is they obviously not set a very good example for handling the problem anyway, because their gut reaction was we're just going to change schools instead of just having any kind of back and forth or trying to solve some sort of a problem that should be somebody else. So the whole thing was just all about
Avoiding. So let's watch this one more time. Let's try for one real good intervention, okay? And I really challenged it to be for Timmy. Really challenge you to step up for Timmy and see what Timmy could do to make himself part of the conversation. Okay. Especially the young people in the crowd. It'd be awesome to see you up here. We've had some, and it's been great. Let's watch.
You want us to talk about some things, some behavioral things, let me say. Yes. I think it might be best if we stay outside.
Stop.
maybe, it might not have been most likely to happen that particular time, but since I said it stated in the beginning, my character's kind of like an overworked person, like I spent most of my time doing stuff I didn't want to do. So my main, I just want to get the meeting over with instead of like trying to get the most out of it that I possibly can. So, yeah, so that would think that's a very, that's
Great.
possibility.
Yeah, thank you so much for that information. So these last actors, if you could go ahead and come up to the front of the stage, we would really like to give you a big round of applause. Thank you everyone for coming. This was really fun. I really wanted to give these actors the opportunity to get interventions. On Wednesday, we got to do it in front of the other middle schoolers, but we weren't able to work through it. And as you can see, we could have taken just one of these and workshopped it for a much longer time, right? And yeah, I thank you so much for your brilliance and for showing up for these people. It's been such an honor. Thank you.